Ahoy, mateys, and welcome back to what may potentially be the last Winds of Fortune video I do, unless a miracle happens. For I was asked to create a video on what happened to this game, and, well, yeah, unfortunately, the game is dead. If you do, I won't say I know all the details. I only know what I've been told and what I've caught, like, overheard in the Discord. A Discord which is now gone, pretty much. So I will tell you what I think happened based on what I've heard. If you happen to know more or I get something wrong, then please be sure, well, the comments are open below. Please be sure to let us all know. I suppose we can begin with the summer update. It was a wonderful update. It brought us a new clothing vendor as well as ship upgrades. As you can see, the flamethrower and armor plating that we can now collect. These were welcome changes into the game. There was hardly anyone who disliked these. I've never seen any. I can't imagine they pleased everyone, but these were good changes. There was also a new merchant that offers clothing design, like clothing. Different from the regular clothing vendor, as he offered designs that were already existent, but in different colors. So if you liked, say, a specific jacket, but you wanted a different color, you could get a different color. This was also a welcome change. This update was good, almost. Unfortunately, they changed a little bit more. For the map that we once knew is now gone. The world we once enjoyed has been changed for good. But not in a good way. For this update is considered to be the worst, despite the addition of the new weapons and new things. The map change alone is single-handedly not only made this the worst update this game has ever seen, but it killed the game, for the most part. There is something else to discuss, but yeah. The map, I believe, was the catalyst. I could be wrong on that, though. You see, the way Winds of Fortune used to be was a single map, with every single island dotted around it. And I liked this. Everyone liked this. It made the world far more open. Even when you had no leveling to do, no treasure to collect, you could just pick a direction and go in it. And you could possibly find islands that didn't appear on the map. Yeah. Like an ancient city, or even a prison, or even the island you see when you first start up the game, with the words Winds of Fortune above it. You could find that. You could also find even an island that was going to be the final island. It had basically nothing but solid cliff, with like level 100 monsters, but still, it was an interesting find. There was a world to explore. But for reasons I still do not know, they decided to take that away from us. Make it more like an RPG. And I like RPGs, but I like open world RPGs, where I can explore. This update ruined the game because it took away one of its biggest selling points. And yeah. Now, Another thing, I believe, another contributing factor to why the game is now dead and not getting fixed or updated is that the developers are no longer receiving funding. I heard that they were receiving funding by Roblox themselves in order to make this game. However, the funding has stopped, and so therefore the updates too are no more. What I believe happened is that someone high up decided that the map change was necessary. They implemented it. It was not well liked. People started leaving. And so, seeing the declining popularity, Roblox decides to cut off the funding. That is what I believe happened based off of the information I have heard. Without the funding, the developers no longer work on the game. They then decide not to fix it because of the lack of funding. They decide not to fix it and abandon the game. Which is unfortunate, but I do not blame them. I do not see, even if they were to fix the map, I do not see this game returning to what it once was. Sure, there would be a rise in players. Some of the player base would return, but I do not see this game regaining all of its lost popularity. I do not see this game returning to what it once was. So, as much as I hate it, I am not surprised by it. That is at least what I think happened. I could be very wrong on that. I could have the order wrong. They decided to... Maybe the Roblox stopped funding it and they decided to change the map as a way to get more funding or save money or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. That I'm just putting pieces together where they look like they'll fit. If you do happen to have more information on this, like I said, the comments are open to you. Please be sure to let us know. I would also like to know whose idea it was to split the map in the first place, as while I do disagree with it, there is a lesson we can take away from this. Game developers everywhere, listen and listen well. If there is anything we have learned from this, it is that you should not implement changes as big as this that will impact the game this much without taking the community's direct consideration. If you're going to implement something that makes as big as a change as this map change did, make sure you get the community's full opinion on it before it's implemented, and if it does not go over well, be ready to restore the game. I do not recall any kind of votes or anything on whether or not they should change the map, okay, because this is a big change to the entire game itself. Now, if you want to just add things like, say, a new magic type, if they wanted to maybe surprise us with something, a new magic type, or a new weapon, or more ship upgrades, or skins, or stuff like that. Those are the types of things you surprise players with, not with a huge change to the base game such as this. Now, I was on the Discord at the time, and I do not recall there being any kind of votes or anything. I could be wrong. I could be remembering wrong. Maybe there were. My memory is not the most reliable, but yeah. Get your community's opinion, and if they end up hating it, be ready. Be ready to reverse it. Make sure you can reverse it if the change is not well received. That might seem, oh, well, they did want it, so it's their fault. Who knows? I do think that it was something that we didn't know much about, and that they only added it because only they thought it was a good idea, and that we could have avoided this if they had given us a vote. Like I said, my memory's wrong, but it just wouldn't make sense to me if everyone agreed that this would be a good change, and then all of a sudden, hey, wait, everyone doesn't like this? And like I said, I never heard anything about this at the time, and I was on the Discord. I didn't know that this was going to be a change, so yeah. If this was meant to be a surprise, developers, if you're going to add something big like this to any game you make, don't make it a surprise. Make sure we know everything that's going to happen when it's big changes like the map. If it's small things like the armor and flamethrower or a new magic type or something like that, then yeah, you can make it a surprise all you want. Those would be pretty nice. And keep in mind, it is the players who ultimately determine whether a game is good or bad. And it is the players who ultimately determine whether a decision about the game is good or bad. So while you think, as a developer, that you have a good idea, I mean, you might think that, but in the end, if the players decide it's a bad idea, then the idea is bad. Because it's the players who play the game. It's us who are the ones who decide whether this is a good game or not. So it is us who decide ultimately whether the decisions are good or not. Which is why we should be the ones who are informed about decisions such as these. Like I said, I don't see this game ever returning to the popularity it once held. Ever. Now, if a developer were so kind as to restore the map, since, if they were kind enough to restore the map, it would be the one thing that could save this game. Fixing the map would certainly be a step in the right direction, but like I said, I don't see this game ever returning to popularity unless some nice, rich guy is willing to write a check. I don't see them ever choosing to work on this game again, as much as I would love to see it. That is the unfortunate truth. Who knows? Maybe if this channel blows up and yeah, and I get the money, I would totally pay to have this game fixed, restored, tightened up. I would do that. I love this game. I've had a lot of good memories on there, from getting this overpowered rapier to, getting second place, or no, it was third place. I got third place in that tournament. I once saved the ship I was serving aboard by taking the helm when everyone else was running around panicking. I mean, yeah, that was a fun little ship battle, Everyone was running around panicking. We were being shot down by a ghost ship. Our helmsman decided to jump off and leave. And, we were getting basically blown out of the water. I take the helm and then sink them. I've had a lot of good memories on this game. I've had a lot of good experiences on this game, ones I will remember and ones I will unfortunately not remember due to my poor memory. But yeah, I would love to restore this game myself or pay to do it. I don't have the skill to restore it, but I would love if I could pay to restore this game. But hey, that's a reason to hit subscribe, right? Yeah. But yeah. I don't see this game ever returning to popularity. One thing I would say, though, if there are any developers watching, I understand life, and it might take a lot of work or something. I can understand if you have reasons that you won't do it. Like whether you're busy or just the amount of work it would take, or you just don't want to work for free. I would understand all of that. But I would not ask for a weapons update or new magic or anything. The only thing that I would ask for, if I could ask for a favor, is for the map to be restored, just the way it was. Maybe undoing the previous update. I would be willing to give up the flamethrowers and ship armor to see the map restored the way it was. That would be a worthwhile trade. If we could keep the merchant and ship upgrades, I would love that, but I can understand if you don't want to do all the work to implement those on the previous update. So, I don't know exactly who it is to blame, whose idea it was to change the map. If you know, put in the comments, but everyone makes bad decisions, and unfortunately those in charge of this game made a bad decision, and they never got around to fixing it. So, yeah. I will say, don't hate on anyone, guys. Like, everyone makes mistakes, and some mistakes are more costly than others. As much as I love this game, I'm not gonna direct my hate. I'm just not gonna direct my anger towards them. So yeah, that's, I guess, what happened to the game Winds of Fortune. As much as I would love to see it restored to its former glory, I do not see that happening, ever. It'd be especially great since I got this outfit, but yeah. Let's drink a gravity-defying mug of milk one last time. And developers, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the world you tried to create for us, for the lore, for the adventure, for everything. Because despite the mistakes that were made, you guys did still put a lot of effort into this, and I want to recognize that. So, that, my friends. So, yeah. Godspeed, developers. And so, if you've enjoyed the video somehow, or this has helped you to learn what happened to this game in any way, please be sure to leave a like, hit subscribe. Those always help out the channel. And yeah, with that, my friends, for potentially the last time from the once mighty Winds of Fortune, sayonara.